I am cindyann, and I help successful divorced women to attract a healthy relationship where they feel deeply secure and fulfilled without the fear of making a mistake again or ending up alone.
I'm Abby. I'm a busy mom, and I help high achieving single women overcome their fear of getting taken advantage of, stop pushing men away, and invite the secure and loving relationship of their own dreams.
I'm Emma, and at 46, I attracted my first healthy relationship after overcoming my chronic people pleasing. I now help successful single women to find the loving and committed relationship they have always desired.
Join us for coffee and coaching conversations, where three experienced coaches answer your love and dating questions. See you there.
So welcome to Coffee and Coaching Conversations, Love and Dating, the podcast where love coaching and personal growth intertwine to empower you on your relationship journey. I'm Emma and I'm in London, and joining me is cindyann, who is in Seattle, and Abby, who is in Ohio. And we're excited to talk to you today about, is he second date material? So I'm going to start off on this one. And for me, the big thing is about how he, and if he does indeed, demonstrate a true interest in you. So is he asking questions? Is he wanting to get to know you? I don't know about you, but I've been on many a date where the questions have been superficial at best, and it's all been about him. So, making sure that he really, and you can tell by the type of questions that he asks, obviously you're going to start off as you're getting to know each other with some of the sort of superficial ones, but you want him and you to be asking questions that are about things that are really important to you, so that you really get a sense of who this person is. Now, obviously, first date and pre-first date, there is only certain things that you shouldn't be talking about, but it's about that general sense of whether or not he's genuinely interested in getting to know you as a human being. Because we're only talking about second date here. We're not talking about whether or not you're going to marry him. We're talking about, are you going to go on a second date? Yeah. So one step at a time, but that would be something that is like really important to me.
Oh, that is so good. And I would even encourage women to really tap into your intuition with this too, because there can be a balance, right? Sometimes you'll get that guy, and oftentimes masculine energy men will do this, where they'll want to impress you with themselves and what they just kind of want you to like them, And so a guy who's doing a little bit of that, where he's just sort of talking himself up, may not necessarily be the wrong guy. So, don't scratch him off your list right away just because he talks about himself too. But like you said, Emma, there needs to be some balance. He's got to sound legitimately interested in you and the kinds of questions he's asking you. Even if he is asking you questions, they can't all be about whether or not you like to do this in bed, and if this is, are you that kind of, different things like that. But he's legitimately interested in asking questions that somebody who would want to actually spend time with you and have you be a part of his life would ask. So yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think we forget as women that the men they're doing a sales pitch. They're trying to sell themselves to you. So yeah, there will probably be a little bit of that, but as you said, it's the balance. They've still got to want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say when I have women and clients or friends who say to me, gosh, I just don't know if I should go on a second date with him because he kind of just seemed boring. And I'm like, good, I'm glad. Like,
yeah,
that kind of feeling is kind of actually okay. And like literally probably inside of them and in their stomach and lower area, they're not feeling charged. And then they're like, but I didn't feel the feels. And I'm like, that's a good thing. I would like to see you go on a second date with that gentleman. I said, just let it go. Let's see how he is. Having your body charge up is probably not where you want to be, when that might not lead to a long-term relationship. And if you're looking for a long-term relationship, you want it to be calm. You want your body to feel good and safe with the gentleman that's across from you. You want to get across with him again. I've had some women who have gone then on date number 5 and 6 and still have been like, well, I keep on giving it a try. And then by date number 7, they're in. They're 100% in and as happy as can be. And they're like, I'm so glad I stuck it out because he has every quality I've ever wanted. And just because I didn't get this rush, but I continued to walk the pace. Because so what she has done in the process of dating this gentleman that many times is she has re-regulated her body. Literally, she's re-regulated her body and her mind and her spirit to match his. And he is of the healthy. He's healthy. He's secure attachment. He's willing to stick it out. He was willing in some sort of way in those 5 dates, they were healing and loving each other and figuring out how to be, how to be together. And it's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I can relate to that because I had that. That was me and my guy, where I was sort of talk myself out of it because it just wasn't feeling, it wasn't sort of getting me in that, kind of that really unhealthy, overly excited place at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Sure enough, I kept giving it more time. And I remember actually you, cindyann, were talking to me. I remember that was sort of a turning point where you said, why don't you just, okay, you've been seeing these other guys. Why don't you just give it, give it 3 months. Just give, go, just try it out. Try going exclusive for, 3 months.
Yes.
See what happens.
Good.
And I remember there was that, so I had to give myself permission to like stop trying to find a reason to get out of it because it wasn't like exciting at the very beginning that way. And sure enough, I mean, I ended up being so hard. And I could say this to the women out here listening, though, that you're not trading it in. So this isn't saying that you have to sign yourself up for this really awful, boring, terrible relationship and just suck it up and be mature, because that's what mature women do. No, I feel so much passion with my guy now. I mean, it's, it grows in a healthy way, between two healthy
Yes.
people. So, yeah, and nobody's asking, anybody to like suffer through being in a relationship with someone they in fact feel attracted to or anything like that. Not, so let's see. I think so. Oh, what I did was somebody else. I don't want to,
No.
what I would add, for my, um, second date worthy guy is someone who shows a balance, some consistency. So kind of the flip side to the breadcrumber or the one who's sort of all over the place. So he shows some consistency and maturity in planning the dates, in being able to show up, when he says he's going to show up, and he's not giving you all kinds of funny excuses about why he's not sort of doing basic, some just basic things. I had a client, as an example, who was connecting with somebody from a dating app who was just like endlessly not getting back to her, and she was like chasing this guy around, like, are we still meeting, and different things like that. And he'd get back to her late, or he'd be like, oh, I was kind of busy, what about later tonight, are you free? Like stuff like that. And she actually had a friend coming in from out of town visiting her. It was a male friend who they very platonic, but he was like on it. He's like, so where would you like to meet? Would you like to do this? What time can we get together? I'm going to be this. And he's planning it all out. And I said, here's a man who's not even, he's literally just a friend. So you've got this man who's capable of doing all this stuff. He's like swinging by. He's going to pick you up. He's asking you what time you're going to be free. He's doing, all this stuff. He's there. He's showing up. He's consistent. He was waiting. And he's not even, he doesn't even like you like that. And so you're giving this random person all of these passes because you're kind of triggered by him and you're attracted to him. So that's what I would say is, a good guy, even if it is just the first date. So he's somebody who's got a sense of maturity and consistency when you're connecting with him. So he would do the same sorts of things you would do in a relationship. He would show up, and he said he was going to be there. He doesn't make you wait for half an hour on your very first date, or all kinds of stuff. Like he's showing a sense of consistency and maturity. And even when you're texting. So he's not the guy who you texted for 3 months and you finally got a date planned, and you had to draw it out of him or something like that. So that would be my tip. And I know it can seem tricky when you're first meeting and you just had a first date, but oftentimes you can sort of spot it if you're really, if you're really because we will, in our hunger for a guy, will sometimes sort of take anything, even if he's, been really inconsistent, dating apps. We'll just sort of take it because he's messaging us. This one guy messaged us and we hang on to it.
Yeah.
So
no, I think you're right, Abby. I think, you shouldn't underestimate things like consistency, because it can, it's very easy not to sort of notice that. But it's so important because it sends a real message about intent, maturity, security in terms of attachment style, and all of those sorts of things. And it's very easy to overlook it, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Very, yes.
Well, there you have it, everyone. So that gives you, if you're questioning and you're not sure, maybe you've been on one date or you're texting somebody or messaging them and you're not sure if he's somebody you want to keep seeing, check out some of these tips as well. And if you would like to find out how to break through your own specific barriers to experiencing the love that you've always wanted, be sure to click on the links in the description below. Schedule a free one-on-one breakthrough session with any one of us. We'd absolutely love to help you receive the loving, long-term relationship you've always wanted. And we look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Hey.